I'm disappointed with the decision. Simple as that. I'm sorry. I'm disappointed with the decision. It's 1-0.
The penalty decision.
Yeah, it's 1-0. I don't, we can see them 14 minutes. We have a big chance with George just before half time, and you go in 1-0 down. And you come out second half better on the front foot. And I appreciate the shots on goal, but I thought we were better going forward. We looked more dangerous. Wanted to add energy with Ilias and Charlie and one other Dozza coming on, or Jeff, whoever it may be. And then we get that decision. And the linesman didn't give it. The linesman's not given the penalty. How's that given? And look at the replay. And we've been the recipient of some very bad decisions. We've received so many apologies for poor decisions. And I'm sure we get another one. But that's not good enough to us. That 1-0, that sucks the life out of the game. 2-0, game over, game dead. And it kills our fans, it kills the momentum of the game, and they're very comfortable. So I'm more than frustrated by that decision. Because you have to be sure. If you're going to give a penalty in a game of that nature, anytime, make sure you're 100% sure. You're 100% sure. His arm never left the side. So, as I say, I'm very, very frustrated by that decision.
Did you actually look at that incident again after the...
Yeah.
And you didn't think it was a penalty?
No, the end of the staff, no, the players. Look at our players' reaction. Why didn't the linesman give it? That's the question. The linesman's there, and he's closer than us, and he puts his flag up, you go, fair point. Okay, I didn't see it. Lee's totally distraught down there. Our players, the linesman didn't give it. So that's my point, and it has to be, you have to be 100% sure to give a penalty.
Are you and other managers just think a little bit confused as to what the actual handball rule is?
Yeah, we are totally bemused. If a player does that, it's handball. If he reaches to change those, it's handball. Look at Lee's running, and it hits him. I believe it hits him here.
It's like elbow, I think it was. Yeah.
Well, he's saying it's here, and I looked at the replays, it looks like it's there. Either way, what does he do? He's 5 to 6 yards away, what does he do? So as I say, if he puts his hand out to block it, then we deserve to be, penalty against us. I'm sorry, I can't have that. So we keep getting that penalty. You've been here, everyone been here all season. We've had 5, 6, 7 letters of apology, and as I say, I'm sure we'll receive another one. But that's just a poor decision. And then the fiasco with John and the fourth official, that's just nonsensical. I'm sorry. Again, common sense has to be applied. And once again, it's not.
Yeah, what actually sort of happened there at the end?
Ball comes off. Nothing wrong with the Fulham bench. Ball comes off. Their guy starts struggling with the football. John goes to grab it. We're losing the game of football, losing the derby. John goes to grab it. There's a bit of a melee. Nothing sinister. Bit of a melee. John turns round and thinks it's the Fulham guy. So there's that. It's a fourth official. And John immediately responded by saying, I didn't know it was you. And the fourth guy's down the line. That was it. John's off. Bit of common sense to say, John, easy. Yeah, no problem. Game done. And just immediately diffuse the whole situation. We don't. It seems to be a complete joy in running down the touchline and John gets sent off. What on earth are we doing?
The decision aside, what were your thoughts on that?
They're a good team. They're a very good team, but I was pleased with their application. You've got to work hard against them. We had to have our midfielders, Lukey especially, had that shift to go out to Brian to close them down, which we've worked on for the last 2 weeks. I was pleased with George. Lyndon, first game for 7 weeks. The idea was to give an hour out of Lyndon. Then Steph had to come off, so Lyndon, all credit to him, how hard he worked. But I was, as I said, you're losing a game of football 1-0, they're a good team, but at 1-0, it's 1-0, simple as that, and that's my biggest frustration.
Is he alright, Steph? Is it like I said, hot little bit?
I'm not sure, I'm not sure, it's a muscle injury, we'll see how he is.
Okay, it wasn't to do with his knee, wasn't it?
Yeah, he felt it on the knee, the muscle around the knee.
Is it the same thing that he had before?
Yeah, so we'll see how he is.
Yeah, and I think you surprised a few people with your team selections. You bring George Thomas in his chair on the bench. What was the thing?
Just that they're a good team, Fulham, and you have to get your shape right. So what we wanted to do was have our 2-8s go out to their full-backs without overcomplicating it. Just want our 8s to go out and keep our wing-backs marking, and our centre-halves going in with their 2-8s. And we did that. So we worked with it for 2 weeks, and George has been outstanding in training, excellent training, and likewise Dion has been really good and sharp. And you don't want to punish boys who go over the country. Jimmy's gone away but not played. Ilias has gone away and not played. And the guys have been sharp. So it was just that no more than using the squad and trusting the squad. And George has worked hard. And when someone trains really well, they deserve to be recognised and rewarded. No more than that, really.
No, Albert Gomez, mate.
Albert was sick. Albert was sick. Had a stomach upset on Thursday night. He phoned the doctor. He's trained on Friday. He was sick again during the course of the day. Better today, I think. But obviously couldn't play.
Well, can I just ask you on that penalty decision? Now, obviously VAR is not used in the Championship because of cost effectiveness, but do you think that VAR should be used
Yes.
in all the leagues, in all the divisions?
You can't. And people in League One will say, of course, and people in League Two will say, of course. I'm conscious of the cost. I'm conscious of the bodies and everything else that goes with VAR. Look at the Premier League; it's had numerous problems with it. But I agree with the comments from the pundits and the experts. I've heard Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, Graham Souness and the guys say about using ex-professional footballers, because decisions are very difficult at times. You can see when there's intent, for example. You can see when a player means to go and hurt another player. You can see when he goes, just momentum takes him through and he puts his hands up and there's no malice intended. And players can see that. And if you haven't played the game to high enough level, you won't see it. And I think there's problems with VAR, but I'm sure they'll be ironed out. But for the Championship, with so much at stake, at the end of the rainbow is Premier League football. 150, 60, 70, 80 million, whatever the bizarre number may be, is huge financial implications. And there's too many mistakes. We have received a number, I'm not being rude, we've received a number of apologies on major decisions. Major decisions. You know, look at the whole game here. Albert scores at the far post. 5 minutes earlier, their guy's 5 yards offside, and it rolled outside the far post. Had that gone in, that was a goal. He was 5 yards off, and Albert's onside, but given offside. You win the game 2-1, 2 more points. They're the fine margins, and every team will suffer. And the managers speak, and the coaches speak. There's too much at stake, and the referees are human, and things happen split second. I get all of that. I understand how hard the job is, but there's too much at stake not to have better decisions being made.
Andre Gray for today, what's the...
Andre Gray played for Jamaica at 2 o'clock Thursday morning time.
Which wasn't ready.
He finished at 5 o'clock. He flew back transatlantic and got back into Heathrow, turned midday yesterday. What do we do? You know, that's again another frustration, that you lose a player. We play on a Saturday and they're playing at Thursday morning. You know, 82 minutes in a different climate, and then he's got a 9-hour flight, a 10-hour flight back. Just, you know, if you can carry a massive squad, you can afford to cover that. But we can't afford to lose players like that. To lose Chrissy, to lose Andre, to lose Albert, it's a big blow. But that's no. So I'm very, very pleased with the effort of the players today. Just very frustrated at what happened.
Mark, you talk about obviously the refereeing decisions in the past as well as today. Do you ever have an opportunity to actually, after the game, just speak as a person, human being, or is it a case of almost hiding behind like letters?
I'm being very respectful here. What's the point? Because I can go and say, there's the iPad, which I'm not allowed to do. So I have the luxury of looking at an iPad from every angle. We have the iPad on the bench, and you can rewind 15 seconds to see it and know if you're right or wrong. We know it's outside the area. We know if the ball's gone out or whatever it may be. We have that luxury. So I appreciate they haven't got that. But all they're going to say is, that's how I saw it as a pen. I'm like, were you 100% sure? Yes. You can't be, because your life never gave it. But they're not going to sit and argue the toss with me over that. So therefore, you know, it's a waste of time. It's a pointless, futile exercise. I'm not being derogatory, it just is. You know, so then you write a report, and we'll write a report, and we'll highlight it, and as I say, 9 times out of 10, all credit to them, they give you you know, sorry about that, a wrong call was made. What does that do? I'd far rather a right call made out there this afternoon.
So it goes back obviously to VAR then, obviously.
It does. I think there has to be, and I'm fully, and it's not a headline, I'm fully appreciative of the cost and the manpower and everything else. I get all of that. But there's too much at stake. There's £150 million plus at the end of the season for someone or some clubs to go up to the Premier League. So you have to recognise that. It's too important.